Multiply binomials. Okay, so again, we're going to basically do the same thing we've done before. The only thing that's going to be different here is that the front term, the first term, is not going to be a letter by itself. There sometimes might be a number with it. So we're going to go parentheses. We have the 9h plus 3, and then we have a negative h minus the 1. Well, we're still going to basically do it the same way we did before. These are my first terms. This is my last term. This is my first term. This is my last term. Let's go double smiles. And then let's go a double smile. So right here you have the 9h, and then you have a negative h by itself. What I would do is I would come over here and I would place in a 1 here. So now we're going to take 9. Do the numbers first. What's 9 times 1? Well, 9 times 1 is 9, but there is one negative sign here, so it's going to be a negative 1. I'm not negative 1, but negative 9. As for the h's, there's 1 and there's 2. So this is h to the second. Okay, let's do the double smiles. So we're going to say 3 times a negative 1. So 3 times 1 is 3, but it's a negative 3h. My last one's going to be 9h times a negative 1. So 9 times a negative 1 is a negative 9, and with the h after it. So I have a negative 3h, and then I have a negative 9h. Okay, then I finish with my last term. So I have a positive 3, and a negative 1 is a negative 3. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to circle. So I want to go ahead and circle here. I want to put these in boxes though. And then I want to put this in a triangle. So I'm going to start off with the negative 9h to the second. Now I have a negative 3 and a negative 9. So you went to your mom, you got $3. You went back to your mom, you got $9. So you're going to take 3 plus 9. So 3 plus 9 is 12, but you owe her, or you need to pay her back. You need to pay her back, so it's a negative 12. So you get a negative 12h, and then your triangle just contains a negative 3. So let's take a look at this. So we start off with, we have the 9h, and we turn this into a negative 1h. So just look at your numbers, take your numbers first. So 9 times a negative 1 is a negative 9. So 9 times a negative 1 is negative 9. And then you have 1h and another h. That gives you 2 h's, so that's h to the second. Your double smiles, the inside smile, 3 times a negative 1 is a negative 3 with the h after it. 9 times a negative 1 is a negative 9. We write the h after it. So we write it up here on the top. We have a negative 3h minus 9. The last thing we do are the last term, so a positive 3 times a negative 1 is a negative 3. So let's code it. We circle the highest, and then we box the single h's, and then we finish up with the triangle with the constant. So you have a negative 3 and a negative 9. That's going to give me a negative 12h. So this we copy down to get the negative 9h to the second. By combining the negative 3 and negative 9, we get the negative 12h, and then we finish up with the triangle or the constant, which is negative 3. So I'm going to type in a negative 9 followed by h, exponent of 2, space bar. Then I'm going to go negative sign, then 12h, and then negative sign, and then 3. Okay, let's take a look at this problem here. Again, we have numbers in front with the letters. So we have the negative 2h plus 9. We have the 9h times a negative 2. So this is my first, this is my last, this is my first, this is my last. and then we go double smiles here. So right there is going to be our double smiles. So we're going to take the first one. We're going to take 2 times 9, so 2 times 9, 18. However, there's a negative sign there, so it's a negative 18. So we have an h and an h with the first term, so that becomes a negative 18 h to the second. So let me drop this down a little bit. So this is going to become a negative h to the second. Okay, let's do the inside smile. 9 times 9 is 81 with the letter h after it. The outside smile is a negative 2 and a negative 2. So negative 2 times negative 2, that's 4, positive with the letter h after it. So we're going to say plus 81h plus, that's a positive 4h. Because if there's no signs here, these are understood to be positive or plus signs. We finish up with the last one. A positive 9 times a negative 2 is a negative 18. So we circle, we box, and then we triangle. So we'll start with a negative h to the second, because that's the only circle we have. As for the boxes, our coefficients are 81 plus 4. So 81 plus 4 is 85. Now the letter there is h, so we're going to use the variable, which is h, and then we finish up with a triangle, which is a negative 18. So again, I recognize what my first terms are, what my last terms are. I take negative 2 times 9, that's a negative 18. Count up my letters, that's h to the second. My double smiles, 9 times 9, these numbers here, 9 and 9h. So 9 times 9 is 81 with the letter h. My outside smiles, negative 2 is a positive 4 with the letter h. So I wrote down 81h plus 4h. I finish up my last terms. 9 times 2 is 18, or a negative 18. So we're going to type in negative 18, the letters h. We're going to use the AB key. We're going to put down a 2, press the space bar. We're going to say plus sign, go 85, then the h, and then minus sign, and then the 18. So negative 18h a second plus 85h minus 18. Okay, next question. Again, it's like the rest. We have a negative. Now this time we have the first letter being negative, so be careful of that. So yeah, excuse me, you have a negative a plus 1, and then you have 5a plus 6. So this is my first, this is my last, this is my first, this is my last. Here's my double smiles. So right here, there's no number here, so I need to write down a 1. So I want to do my numbers first, my coefficients. So I'm going to take negative 1 times 5. So 1 times 5 is 5, but there is a negative sign there, so it's a negative 5. I see 2 letter A's, so that's a to the second. So that's my first term. My inside smile, 1 times 5 is 5 with a single letter A. My outside smile is a negative 1 times 6. That's 6, but that negative sign makes it a negative 6 with the letter A. So I say plus 5A minus 6A. Now my last term is going to be 1 times 6. So I'm going to multiply 1 times the 6. So 1 times the 6 is a positive 6. So let's code it. This is my highest. This is now second place. It gets the box. And then third place gets the triangle. So I start off with the negative 5a to the second. and then I have 5 for a coefficient and negative 6 for a coefficient. Well, what's happening here is you owe your mom 6, but you're only paying her 5. So if you owe her 6 and you only give her 5, you need to pay her $1. So you need $1, so that shows us a negative 1. Because if you take 6 minus the 5, 6 minus 5 is the 1. So again, if you owe your mom 6 and you only give her 5, you need to pay her 1 more, so that's why this turned into a negative 1. So 5 minus the 6 would be a negative 1. So right here I'll show this as a negative a. Now you can write down a 1 if you want, or you could say negative a, and then you finish up with a triangle, which is a plus 6. So again, first terms, negative 1 times 5 is a negative 5. Count it up, you have 2 letter A's. The inside smile, 1 times 5 is 5 with the letter A. The outside smile, negative 1 times 6 is a negative 6 with the letter A. The last term, 1 times 6 is 6. We code it. The highest degree is negative 5a to the second. Only one there. As for the boxes, our coefficients are 5 and negative 6. 5 minus 6 is a negative 1. So we write this as a negative a, or we could say negative 1a. We only have one triangle there that stays as a plus 6. So we're going to say negative 5a to the second. So we press the AB key, put down the 2, press the space bar. Then we go minus the a, then we go the plus sign, and then we go 6. Okay, next question we have 3b. Minus the 4, and then b plus the 2. So right here we could put a number here in front of the b. This is my first, this is my last, this is my first, this is my last. Here's my double smile, that's my inside smile, that's my outside smile. So with the first terms, 3 times 1, well, 3 times 1 is 3. Count up your letter B's, 1, 2, so there's 2 letter B's, so it's b to the second. Okay, double smiles, negative 4 times 1, well 4 times 1 is 4, but that 1 negative sign makes it a negative 4, and there's a single b there. My outside smile, 3 times 2, 3 times 2 is 6, and there's a letter b there. So I have negative 4b, and then I have the 6b. There is no sign in front of 6b, so we write this as a plus sign. Okay, the next one, the last term, we have a negative 4 times 2. Well, 4 times 2 is 8, but there's a 1 negative sign there that makes it a negative 8. So let's code this. So we circle our highest, and then second place is a box. And then we finish up with the triangle. So I come down here, and I go 3b to the second. Now I got a negative 4 plus 6. Well, this one you're actually in good shape because you know what? You owe your mom 4, but you're giving her 6. So what's happening here is you overpaid. So you gave her too much. So from your 6, you got to give her 4. So that means you're going to have 2 left. So it's a positive 2. So you're going to write down a plus 2. Now the letter that's inside the box, the variable there is b. And then we finish up the triangle, which is a negative 8. So we have 3 times the 1. So the first terms are 3 times 1 is 3. We have 2 letter b, so that's b to the second. Our double smiles, negative 4 times 1 is a negative 4, followed by the letter b. And then our outside smile, 3 times 2 is 6 with the letter b. So that's how I got the negative 4b plus 6. The negative 8 came from a negative 4 times a positive 2 is a negative 8. I circled, I put boxes here with the single letters, and then I triangled. So I'm going to start with the 3b to second. That's the only circle I have. My coefficients are negative 4 plus 6. That's a positive 2, or positive 2 letter B, and then the negative 8. So I'm going to say 3b ab to the second, space bar, plus 2, then letter B, then the minus sign, and then the 8. So we have 3b to the second plus 2b minus 8, so it is written in standard form.